I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh my gosh! Hello, everybody!
Hi.
Hello! Welcome. Here we are. We have made it to the finale of Schitt's Creek. Oh my gosh! What an amazing season, but a whole series and an amazing top off. Not only with the final episode, but with the warm wishes, the well wishes, warm regards episode that we got right after it. Literally brought me in tears the entire time. I want to get into all of this. Of course, we have so much to talk about. We've got our special segment, of course. We've got our news and gossip, but I want to go ahead and introduce our host for this evening. We have been with you this entire journey through Schitt's Creek. And again, if he's not talking about Schitt's Creek on the after show, he's talking about on his Instagram, Loren Kling. Give it up.
Hi, everybody. I'm currently trying to load the YouTube page so I can chat with everyone. It's going so slow. I think YouTube's crying right now.
Oh, no.
I am wearing my Rose video shirt and a lovely dinner jacket. We're all sharing a little bit of rosé or our own version. What a beautiful show with a lot of surprises. I can't wait for us to talk about all the LOL moments and the CRY moments. It was great.
Yeah. And of course, coming from her own small town, just like Schitt's Creek, Megan Gallagher.
What's up, everyone? Cheers, a little rosé for the Rose family.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, so many amazing things going on in this episode. I want to get into our overall thoughts, of course, but again, we do have our special segment, Senior Superlatives, and we also have our news and gossip coming up. What is to come of Schitt's Creek? What is going to happen at the tour? What are things that we can look forward to after the season is over? I'm sure Loren has all of that for us, but I want to go ahead and get our overall thoughts. This was the ending episode. This was the bow at the end. This was the end of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Did it live up to the hype? Did this end on the note we expected it to end on? Loren, what did you think?
You know what? I think about all the fun little predictions we made throughout the season. I think we talked about the wedding was going to take place like at the, the motel. We wondered if Ted was coming back.
Yeah, you're all wrong.
But right out of the gate, the big storm, I'm like, oh my God, okay, so that's typical. What's going to happen now?
Yeah.
But David freaking out and just saying F F F F F F F F F. I was like, looked at my wife. Wait, have they said the F word on the show before? And I was gonna ask you to.
I don't know. Probably.
Maybe. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's cable, but there were some wonderful, funny moments. There were some touching, beautiful moments. And some costume surprises. It was just wonderful.
Megan, what do you think?
I feel two ways. One, I think it felt like the ending, and I like that it just wrapped up and it gave us closure, and it wasn't at the end Ted running out and there's rain and he's like, take me back, and then it goes to credits and it's over. I'm really glad that they gave us all closure, and it was just this good ending where you're like, okay, I can leave happy. I'm not gonna, be so overwhelmed with what's happening. But a part of me kind of also felt like it just was like missing a little bit of like an extra huge, maybe someone from season 1 comes back or something with Alexis. But I feel like there was a good amount of emotional moments, cute moments, sappy moments, and funny, like Alexis wearing the dress and then they look like they're bride and groom, and the happy ending massage. I thought there was a ton of that, but I feel like it could have had just like a huge, like a big moment.
Yeah, I think that the biggest moment for me throughout the entire episode was Moira coming out as the priest or the officiant of it. That was my big jaw-dropping moment. My first jaw-dropping moment was the happy ending, because I wasn't expecting that at all. And I actually wasn't sure how I felt about that, to be honest with you, because I felt like it came from left field and I wasn't expecting it. So, but I guess we'll dive a little more into that. Overall, I really enjoyed the episode, but I will say my overall thoughts are that the series didn't need to end right here, in my opinion.
Yes.
I felt like there was more to be had than the end of this. And I also felt like we should have gotten an hour season finale.
I agree.
Like there just should have been it. I felt gypped of having a full season finale. I don't know. I just really wanted an hour. I really enjoyed the second segment that we got with the warm wishes, well regards, or well wishes, warm regards. I keep saying it wrong. But yeah, I don't know. I was up in the air. I think maybe because selfishly, I don't want the series to end because I feel like there are so many more stories to get into. But let's go ahead and get into the episode because I'm talking too long. So we have the day of the wedding. The whole family standing over David. They're like, oh, okay, there's a problem. And then, did Patrick die? Of course, that's exactly where David's mind goes. But it's raining. The venue is completely wet. He's like, well, we couldn't afford a tent. Of course, Alexis has to bring up the fact of why didn't you have a tent? And he goes, well, the tent versus the wood fire pizza oven. Fabian, the officiant, of course, canceled. So we get set up with the first big dilemma of the episode is that there is a complete downpour of rain. And it seems to, rain a big parade on the plans. And I loved at the end of it before they went to the whole boom, bump, boom, bump, boom, boom, when they did, where Loren, you do that the best actually.
No, Rachel, you killed that.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Wait.
Where Moira said, they go, when David goes, where are you going? He goes, somewhere it's safe, or like somewhere where it's safe. She like says that right at the tail end. So because David's like freaking out, but of course, so we get this moment, and then after that, we get Alexis having a really tender moment with Moira, reminiscing, saying, she's actually happy that they lost the money. She hugs her mom and she says that he loves her very much. We saw Alexis say that she loves everybody so many times during this episode. I noticed that throughout the entire time. What did you guys think up to this point?
I thought it was just really sweet. It was like the Rose family coming together. And I do think Alexis in particular was super into her emotions and just tuning in and just really, it's expressing herself and her love for her brother and just her family. I do think it's just, David, I really enjoyed seeing him get emotional later in the episode because I feel like he's so sarcastic sometimes. He's just always that facial expression. But yeah, I really loved seeing their family have that moment of just like, y'all, we did it. We're still breathing. We overcame all of that.
Yeah.
I think my favorite on this episode, although the wedding was great, it was less about the wedding and more about the goodbyes. And I just think Annie Murphy, her character arc has been so wonderful and so amazing. Yeah. And maybe it's because my wife and I boop the nose of our kitties out of love, that it really hit me as a dad to cats. It just really, it really hit the fact that she could say I love you to her mom, which, even in this last episode, her mom is not one to reciprocate the L word. But you can tell she's got love. She just doesn't know how to say it, or says it in an awkward, funny way.
Yeah, we definitely saw her at the end of her saying she loves her. She kind of had to snap out of the loving moment there because she was like, oh my God, I'm being way too emotional right now. But again, it was nice to see Alexis and how emotional she got over the course of the episode. After that, we did go into Patrick, being completely fine, and David freaking out about the fact of, the wedding and the rain, and where is it going to get turn to, but he says, don't worry, I have a massage set up for you. I had this set up for a very long time because I knew that you wouldn't be able to handle this day, which goes back to the fact that Patrick is literally the most perfect partner you could ever have in the entire world. I did find it very hilarious when David was getting massaged, because I was thinking to myself, I was going, damn, that guy looks real good. I said, where's this gonna go? You know, like I was like, this has to go somewhere because this guy looks way too good. What were y'all thinking? Were y'all like, is this gonna go somewhere?
Exactly what you were thinking. I was like, this guy is this
I'm
like
like, damn, hold up now, he look real good.
Hold up, wait a minute. Is this a guy like a male stripper, or is he one of those like, you know, door, they can come to your door and sing happy birthday, then they like give you a little lap dance or something? I was like, is this like a pre-bachelor wedding gift from Patrick? Because I mean, I personally have never had a masseuse that is like, looks like a professional athlete or like a male model. I'm like,
yeah, he was way too good looking.
Where in Schitt's Creek does this exist?
Yeah, I was like, where did you come from? You're not from Schitt's Creek.
He's from Elmdale.
What did you think? What did you think, Lauren? What were you thinking in your male mind?
Yeah, he's definitely from Elmdale. He took massage classes at Elmdale Community College. But yeah, I did think it was weird, and I wondered what Patrick was setting up or what the writers were setting up. But still, the way that turned out was a jaw-dropping moment. And yeah, when you think about happy endings before a wedding, it's kind of like a wait a minute moment, but it was funny. I think they wrote in some really funny lines and circumstances to kind of separate these things. And you know what? David's character, like Megan has said, just always has that affect that he's always disgusted with everything. And so we've seen it a lot. It's nice to be able to see almost Patrick torturing David, not meaning to, but setting him up with these, oh, I didn't know that's what I did kind of moments. I think those are
funny. What, Patrick setting up David?
Patrick, yeah, he doesn't mean to, but Patrick, out of innocent love, is always setting him up. And to that, I raise my glass and a cheers.
Woo!
I raise my glass and a cheers. And if you're at home, cheers to you too.
Yes.
So again, setting him up, of course. So of course we see finally, after they've gathered everybody into the tent, that we will have the wedding at Town Hall. And then they come back, and this is where we get the climax of the happy ending story. Did you get so David is shockingly very calm sitting in bed, and they're like, hey, it's at Town Hall. And he goes, you know what? It's okay, as long as I'm with you. And they're like, why are you so calm? And he's like, well, you set me up with a happy ending at the end of my massage, so I'm feeling really good. And he's like, what are you talking about? So then all of a sudden I'm thinking,
oh my gosh,
wait, this is going to go in a disaster. Patrick's going to say he's not going to marry you at the altar.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So I was freaking out because I was like, oh God, are we not going to get the happy ending that we are all wanting?
Yes.
Right.
And Stevie's face was like, no. David's like, happy ending. And the moment he said that, I'm like, oh my gosh, you just ruined your marriage. Like, Patrick is Stevie's like,
I just didn't expect that at all.
No.
So that was absolutely crazy, but you know what, good for him. But before we move on, because we are going to get to the day of the wedding, I want to shout out to everybody that's been following us and watching us from the start of our Schitt's Creek journey. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, giving us those 5 stars. If you are listening right now, you're listening on iTunes, give us those 5 stars. If you are watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube, give us that thumbs up. Your support means everything to us, especially during this time. We need you guys. You need us. So
yes,
we love you guys. Here we are at the season finale. So if you have been going on this journey with us, leave a comment below. Let us know what you have thought of the season. We want to know what you guys think. And hopefully we'll be coming back for another season of Schitt's Creek, because I feel like it's not the end. Like, no. I feel like, you know, especially during these times right now, they're probably all like, damn, we should have had another season. That's what I personally think
there's gonna be a spin-off thing with one of the characters, like Alexis takes New York, or David and Patrick take Elmwood, or something.
Oh yeah, you know, I'm covering the Alexis takes New York. I already
yes.
yeah, already got that covered.
So
I'm working on that.
we're all hoping and praying that there is more Schitt's Creek than this, but we do want to thank you guys so much for your support throughout the season and throughout this AfterBuzz season, all these after shows. So we love you guys. Thank you so much. You're the reason why we're the ESPN of TV talk. So love you guys so much.
Love you all. You guys have been amazing.
Yay! Mwah! Well, let's get right into the day of the wedding. So, what is this? Alexis is wearing a literal wedding gown with she's like, oh, there was a veil that came with it. It was like a headdress.
David's face is like, what are you doing?
This was so similar to the fact I think I wanted to wear like a cream color. I was like sending pictures to one of my best friends one time with like dresses, because I was one of her bridesmaids. She's like, Rachel, if you wear anything close to white, I'm going to literally kill you. And I'm like, it's not white. So I can sympathize with the Alexis character. So yeah, but what she's wearing, completely inappropriate. No. But
girl.
I don't know. Do you think she just wasn't thinking, or did she do it on purpose?
It's just Alexis. I think she wanted that moment of, I'm walking my brother down the aisle. I need to look good. And I get it, but I would for sure pick like eggshell or like an off-white color. I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And again, she goes, well, I thought it was a black and white theme. I'm like, no, girl, no, you didn't. But when hold on a second though, when Stevie walked in, she was wearing a tux.
Yeah.
Were y'all not thinking to yourself, wait, why is she wearing a tuxedo?
I think she's rocking it ever since New York. She's like, I think she's feeling that out like that.
I guess I was just thinking, if we're going to get on Alexis for wearing a white gown, why are we not getting on Stevie for wearing a tuxedo, which the other two gentlemen are going to be wearing?
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that was my first thought, because I was like, damn, we're going to get on her, but not the tuxedo.
Now,
but
are we going to address the father in the room, Patrick's father? I'm assuming that was Patrick's father in the background, and it would have been too awkward to not have anybody there on Patrick's side.
Yes.
But
was it only Patrick's father?
As far as I could tell, that seemed to be the only person over there. It could have been a replacement family member.
Where was the mom?
You know what? I don't know. And I know they didn't have to address it, but you know, in my mind, you know, I'm like, oh wait, who is that guy that's kind of back there? But I'm usually looking at the people in the background of TV shows and movies anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm also writing a new series for that guy. I think I'm going to call it Patrick's Dad. And we never hear him talk through the whole season. It's just him in the background of Patrick, of the actor who plays Patrick, his other TV projects that he works on. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I love it.
So as we, but you know what I loved throughout this is but the moment that got to me the most was, so right before the doors are about to open, David's about to walk down the aisle, and we get this tender moment between Alexis and David, of course. You know, David tells Alexis he's continuously impressed by her. And of course she says, this is where the moment where she says that she loves him, where I keep saying throughout this whole episode, Alexis just keeps saying how much she loves her family. And then when those doors open and the Jazza girls are singing, and that was when I started crying. I don't know about you guys, but that's when I started crying, because I was like, oh my God, this is so cute on certain points.
Oh
and
my
the
God.
fact that David has to like turn and go like, oh, you know, I laughed so much at that whole, the comedic timing and just everything about how it's written and how these characters, how they've developed so much is a great thing to see.
Did Moira's papal hat, it seemed like her wig was actually a part of the rim.
Yes.
And I was dying. I was laughing
The
so
moment she
much.
opened the doors, I just was like,
that was it for me.
Yes,
That was it for me.
queen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the Jazz Gals going into Simply the Best. That's when I kind of got choked up.
If you had to give a gift for when you first saw Moira walk through the door, what would be the gift that you would give it?
I would have given her like a cane,
Ooh.
a Big Daddy cane.
No, like, well, a gift, meaning like the GIF, like when you're
GIF.
texting somebody.
Oh, gift. I'm
That's
thinking. I thought you
amazing.
said a gift.
Yeah. No, it's fine. So a gift, like, is it the
Oh yeah.
emoji? Is it the poop my pants emoji? I don't know.
I would do the one that is the guy in the audience clapping at like Tyra or Ellen, and he's just like the huge mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would do like the yes queen. That would be my.
Ooh.
That would be mine. Or a meme or emoji that you would give. What would be your meme? What do you think, Loren?
I feel like there's like a Will Smith one. I don't know why, we're kind of a close up of him turning his head in shock and opening his eyes. I don't know why I think that, but yeah, one of those like shocked moment kind of ones.
Just a big shocker.
But I know you mentioned gift, but if we were giving gifts to Moira just for that outfit, if anything was missing for some reason, some kind of cane or a wand, I think a wand would have been a perfect accessory for Moira's outfit.
Yes.
She literally can do anything. We get right into the vows, which again, I found it so funny that Moira didn't even know Patrick's last name when she was doing the vows, which was really funny. And she was like talking to them. Anyway, so we get into the vows. Patrick, of course, breaks out into "You'll always be my baby." Which, if that was me, I know everybody was like all choked up about it, but had that been me, I probably would have laughed so hard, because if my significant other is going to break out into song while I'm standing beside him, I'm like, I literally would laugh so hard. I don't know about you guys. But David, David, when he said, "You are my happy ending," I was like, okay, yeah, there it is. That was the that we all needed. And then, of course, we end the episode. We have the morning after, and then we get the drive off with Johnny wanting one last look, and it's the sign that has changed to Johnny bent over, Moira behind him, and the kids in the back.
Yeah.
What did you guys think when you saw it? I mean, I felt like that was I didn't know exactly what the in picture was going to be, but I knew that's what he was looking back at.
I knew it was the sign. I mean, I knew because the way the camera was, I knew he was looking at the sign one more time. I assumed, I'm sure that's how they wrote it, we would assume it was going to be the same sign and he'd look at it and laugh. But the fact that it was changed is so wonderful. It was such a great ending to the show. Now both of them are going to California for her show. Is that where Moira and Johnny are going, or are they flying to New York?
I think they were supposed to be going to California and then going to New York.
Okay.
I believe. I'm not 100% sure. That's what they had discussed in the last episode.
Right. Okay. So,
I really felt, just looking at that sign, it was just so special. And I love that Johnny just told the driver to stop, and then he just turned around and got one last look. And I love how the sign says where everyone is welcome. Just like, it's so inclusive. And I think it's just so incredible. The Rose family should be so proud of themselves for just the fact that they came there so long ago and they've made such a positive impact on the town, and they've left it better than they found it. I mean, they've just, improved it and just added so much spice and just variety. And I feel like they've just like reawoken kind of everyone's spirit in that town.
100%. It was the perfect way to end the episode. I mean, again, I would have loved an hour-long episode. I think it's just because we all want more Schitt's Creek. And I think that became very apparent when we saw the latter episode of Well Wishes, Warm Regards, and how nobody really wanted this series to end. And nobody really expected this series to end. Loren, do you have any other, before we get on to the next segment, any other like lasting feelings of how you felt about the finale, or any other things you'd like to tie in?
Yeah, I know I sent over some pictures, so I hope we get to post those up, because I was on Instagram, and just everybody from the show was posting some beautiful, wonderful series ending pictures. But what was amazing is we had been guessing who we thought was going to leave Schitt's Creek. And although Alexis is going to eventually go, it was the parents. The parent, normally it's the children, it's the children that leave the parents' nests. But here we saw the parents go away and the kids hanging back. I don't think I would have ever guessed that's how it ended. So that was kind of a wonderful, kind of subtle surprise for me.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we don't see what her decision is. We don't see that. We don't know what her ultimate decision is. We got a hint of what her decision was in the last episode, but we're kind of left. Maybe that's the spinoff right there. So you might be right, Loren.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
Good point.
I want to quickly get into Well Wishes, Warm Regards, which is the latter half, the hour-long show that we saw. I wrote down a couple quotes that I really took away from this. It was kind of the backstory, what led up on this final season. This was extremely emotional for me to watch. I think especially because we are in, quarantine right now. We're not able to be as creative and passionate about our craft as we really want to be. I know for me, I miss being on a stage. I miss being a part of a cast. I miss that so much that it literally kills me. So seeing this and seeing specifically Annie Murphy and how she hadn't had a job in 2 years, literally was down and out, everything going wrong for her. And then all of a sudden she's able to pick herself up and get the most amazing role of her life. It literally doesn't matter what you're going through. She got an email one day from her agent or her manager go to this audition. And then all of a sudden here she is in one of the most epic television series of all times. So it really doesn't matter, like anything, it could happen at any moment for you. So I just found this to be incredibly inspiring. And also I cried a lot. But I just wrote down some stuff, and I don't know if you guys wrote down some stuff too about it. I think I said we can't move until we know. I loved how in the beginning when Daniel Levy was saying, Dan Levy was saying, the son was saying, I want to keep moving on from the backstory, but his dad was like, no, we have to know exactly who these people are. And I can relate to him because I would be the same way. I'd be like, God, I was like, I want to know exactly who these people are. So, or I would want to move on. So I thought that was really cool that we got to see kind of the backstory and how long it took them to develop these characters. So that was really cool.
Yes, I agree, Rachel, 100%. When I watched that, was super emotional, and just hearing the Dan side of it. When they first started it, they really didn't have and it's just so endearing to hear that when people first start shows and they're the writers and producers, they don't know where it's going to fully land. They just know that they're passionate about the idea and the storyline and the characters. And it was just so emotional. And I really related to Annie's story of just, she didn't have a job for 2 years and was just kind of, that's such a challenging thing when you are following your dreams and there's so many ups and downs. And just to hear that was like, oh my gosh, I mean, it sounds cheesy to say, and no one wants to hear it all the time, but it really is true when you just do not know what is literally right around the corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to give a shout out to Amy Siegel. She's the one that wrote and directed that warmest wishes. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up the name.
That's
well
wishes,
warmest
warmest regards.
I know it's been a time.
Yeah, I had actually reached out to her and a number of the cast to see if anyone wanted to come on. And not surprisingly, they were busy. There's a photo that I sent over to the studio. Don't know if we're going to show that, but it was basically a picture from Rizwan Manji's laptop. They had a party. It looks like about 12 of them of the cast who were on Zoom while they were watching the show earlier in the day. And so it was wonderful to be able to see the work and the love that was put into this. So I wanted to give a shout out to her. And the photos that I was going to show, you can go to my Instagram page. It was basically sharing some moments. There's one of Stevie, who Emily Hampshire, who's holding up Schitt's Creek.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're
Jane, who just looks like she's been crying for an hour, and I'm like, that's me. That's me. There's another one of Daniel, and I'm not sure who he's with, but what he said, what I loved most of all, it's him crying. Tears are a good thing. It means you care. So I was bawling earlier this afternoon when I saw that. It was just some beautiful thoughts from a wonderful show at a time in our lives when we just want to know that there's love out there and there's other people who care that we can kind of commiserate with. So it's been wonderful.
So true. Well said, Loren.
And I very well said. And I wrote down some other memorable quotes that I just want to briefly get into. Emily Hampshire, when she said that she had audition anxiety, breaking out in hives before she even was going to go out for this role, dropped by her US agent, but got it through her Canadian agent. Noah Reed, the more you want it, the harder the audition is. So I had to trick myself into thinking that I didn't really want it. So I'm like listening to all this stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is golden material. Moira's clothes and how that really shaped the clothing department and the wardrobe department, how that really shaped how well Schitt's Creek actually did. And a lot of the stuff that they got was really bargain stuff that they had gotten. Also, I loved how David talked about how the internet is literally a cesspool of negativity at times, and how people took Schitt's Creek and found light and beauty and just positivity through this cast. They had an outlet, and that's what Schitt's Creek was for a lot of people. And that was something really beautiful that I saw from that. And also, what I want to talk about very briefly was the fact that we haven't seen a gay couple really thrive on a network like we've seen David and Patrick. And I didn't really think about that until I saw this, and how, I'm not into the wine. I'm more into, into the wine, not into the label.
Yeah.
So, a lot of gay relationships, they represent tragedy, struggle, strife, hardships. We can't get to a happy ending, but that's what David and Patrick gave us. They gave us that happy ending. So I didn't really think about that until I watched this. And so that's why I'm a little more passionate about it, maybe talking about it a little more than I should be. But it is something that's different. And it did represent the LGBTQ community in a very beautiful, beautiful light, as we saw when all those letters were read. So briefly, what did you guys think of the documentary in general?
I thought it was just so really fun as a fan, just to see the behind the scenes and just for them to showcase, like what you said, just what was important to the show. And all of the things that I never really thought about until they actually explained, this was on purpose and we put this here in order to inspire all of the viewers. And I just thought it was so well done. And I really, I had that epiphany too, Rachel, where I felt, oh my gosh, now that I think about it, all of the shows where there's been a gay couple and, they're always kind of portrayed in a certain way, but this show, it was just, it was all like positive. There was no, it was just a different way that I've seen it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think what you said, it wasn't there wasn't a struggle for David and Patrick to get to where they were.
Yes. Yeah.
It was just two people who fell in love. And I think I often think that TV and movies and commercials are can be somewhat behind the times as far as the people that have the power, the producer have the money, sometimes have a vision of what a gay couple is, or what an older woman should be like, or children should be like. And I think we don't often get to see characters written who are just like the people we actually know. The people on screen oftentimes are heightened versions of somebody we know that have been written for. I feel like David and Patrick are people that I would so know. Yeah. I didn't have to watch friends of mine struggle in order to get married. They did, but I just got to see them as two people who loved each other. And so there was that. Also, I just wanted to talk about how surprised I was when Daniel Levy talked about clothing being the second most important thing after the writing.
Yeah.
I never thought about it. And I was curious for you two, if you were surprised about that, about what he said about the clothing.
I wasn't, because I feel, in my opinion, I think the costume designer and the way that the clothes are so specific to each character, and they really just, I mean, like, the outfits speak, for the characters. Like, just looking at Moira, I would already know, kind of her personality and what she's going to be like. And I love that they just dressed each character and actor to exactly what would fit their personality. I really, really like that, because it just made it, oh, David's in all black. He's wearing the kilts, the long t-shirts, the very simple neutral, and Moira's like the high heels, the tights, the like just Chanel knitted sweater, and it's just, I love that.
We needed everybody in their specific type. Like, yes. It just fell into place exactly what it needed to be. Coming from a family of means, as they were supposed, where they came from and how they were built. Specifically, the characters of Alexis and Moira, they really needed to embody that. We needed to see that. We needed to see that they are a family of means. And specifically with just how Moira's character is, I wouldn't see her any other way. I need to see all of those different variations. It was really cool in the documentary to see how Catherine O'Hara took the character and was like, I can hide under these different personas and this wig and this and that. And what's funny is I've been so bored that I've been getting ads about wigs on my Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I want a wig now. Like, because I'm just I've been like sitting there going, oh, I want a wig, because I'm so bored right now that I'm like, I want to be a different person, or just take on a different character persona, because we're all creative. So
true.
And I don't know, it was great. I really enjoyed that little tie up, but I want to get into our special segment in our news and gossip. But do you guys have anything else to say about the finale, or about the last special segment that we saw with the warm wishes, well regards, or well wishes, warm regards, that I keep saying wrong?
I just agree with everything we've all said. I think it was really well done, and I think it was such a special treat for all the viewers just to see this really this cool look at how the show started and just how relatable everyone is. And especially just, Alexis's story, like her character story of just Annie and how she is just so relatable and it's so refreshing. And they just seem like one big happy family, which I love.
I know. I love it too. Well, so do we have some senior superlatives for this episode?
We do always.
Okay.
So,
Okay, awesome.
I treated.
All right, well, hit us with the senior superlatives, Megan.
What is up? Okay, so senior superlatives for the last episode. So to me, I thought of this as kind of just like the end of high school when you're just like, peace out.
So overall.
Overall. So first one, and you all at home can, by the way, just to touch up, senior superlatives is just whoever you feel would fit this category most. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just, who you feel like in this episode, oh yeah, that person would fit this. So first one, most likely to keep in touch with everyone once you've graduated.
I'm going to go with Twyla.
That's a really good answer.
Yeah.
I was thinking Jocelyn.
Ooh, also good
one
answer.
too.
Yeah.
I personally think I agree with Jocelyn. I feel like she has that warm, like Betty Crocker energy of
Yeah.
Betty Crocker.
She just wants to, she's so cute. So amazing. Second one is, who is most likely to be the person to date the whole football team or to date the whole volleyball, like girl or boy teams, but who's that person that's most likely to be the class flirt, the just the one
Alexis.
Ooh,
Alexis.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. I personally thought kind of David. I think he loves Patrick, but I think his personality is also naturally
fluid.
Yeah, naturally really friendly.
Well, he's been with girls and guys, so
yeah.
Exactly. There's no limits.
There's no limit.
I know. And then last one is most likely to flunk out of school.
Mutt.
Ooh.
Mutt.
I know, good old. Oh my gosh.
Mutt.
I mean, probably Mutt too, because we haven't seen much of him. And
yeah.
I would say Ted. They just those.
What?
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do one more because I want to end on a high note.
Okay.
How about most likely to succeed?
Yes, most
out of
likely
the entire season.
To succeed out of the entire season. I love it.
Okay, most likely to succeed out of the entire season. I am going to go with David because I feel like David held true to himself at the end of this. And I think that he's going to succeed because of that, because he took the correct road for himself. I don't know if necessarily Alexis has taken the correct road for herself. I don't know if necessarily Moira and Johnny have. I mean, I think they have, but I don't know. I just think that David, because I'm just happy for him because he got married and all that jazz. So I'm gonna go with David.
And I was thinking a tie between Stevie and Alexis, just because their development, that we kind of know that they're going to succeed. But I could also think that, Stevie's still in Schitt's Creek. Yeah. And yes, she's running these 2 motels, but she's still living there and she's still Stevie. So Rachel, you were kind of swaying me a little bit.
Oh, did I convince you?
Oh my
God. That's my big brother side coming out.
Oh my gosh. I agree. I'm going to say Stevie because she's just such a badass like entrepreneur, and she's grown so much, and I feel like she's so much more confident in the beginning of the season when she was running the motel, but now she's just like dressed to the nines and she just has this like cool swagger that the roses kind of, just rubbed off on her. So I think Stevie.
Okay. I agree with y'all's sentiments too.
Cool.
So to each its
Yes.
own.
But that is senior superlatives last time.
Yay!
Thank you.
Woo!
Woo!
Well, guys, this ends the Schitt's Creek season. It feels so weird to do it over FaceTime, but it is what it is. I've thoroughly enjoyed being with all of you guys. I'm so sorry we're not able to be in the same room together, but I hope you all are staying safe, and I hope you all are staying safe out there. But it's been an absolutely amazing season. But for the final time, Loren, let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at Loren Kling, LORENKLING. I'm gonna have to find something new to Insta about.
Oh my gosh. You can find me on Twitter at MGALLAGHER125. So that's Megan Gallagher 125.
I'm gonna miss hearing that every week. And you can find me at Rachel Swindler on Instagram or on Twitter at Rachel Swin. And I'm going to be a part of the Listen to Your Heart after show for AfterBuzz. And so that'll be my next one. So look out for that.
All right. Are we doing one last cheers?
Oh
yes, we'll do one last cheers.
In honor of Schitt's Creek, you're simply the best.
Yes!
Yay!
Yes, cheers.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for being with us this entire season. I don't even know how to sign off. So bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you all.
Bye, little
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.